Hello, this video is titled Signs, Wonders, and Ponderings. Well, where does this name come from? What does this have to do with biblical citizenship training and Christian civics training? Well, I'll go to George Washington's inaugural address of April 30th, 1789 to discover why. In his address, he said this: "It would be peculiarly improper to omit in this first official act my fervent supplication to that Almighty Being who rules over the universe, who presides in the councils of nations, and whose providential aids can supply every human defect." In essence, his first act in his inaugural address is to pray to a personal God that rules the universe, guides nations, and works in individuals' lives. Let's take a look at what this means. The God of the universe, the God of nations, and the God of people. He continues, "No people can be bound to acknowledge and adore the invisible hand which conducts the affairs of men more than the people of the United States. Every step by which they have advanced to the character of an independent nation seems to have been distinguished by some token of providential agency." In this section, he really challenges the people to adhere to God's leading and guiding that has been everywhere along the way. And so why do we do this series on signs and wonders and look at God, the great governor of the universe? Because it's embedded and inherent in the American experiment, in the American identity. So let's take a look at this word pondering. What does it mean? Well, pondering in a modern dictionary means deliberating, deeply or seriously thoughtful. But if you go back to the 1828 dictionary, you get additional nuances by founding father Noah Webster. It's to weigh in the mind, to consider and compare the circumstances or consequences of an event, or the importance of the reasons for or against a decision. A Bible verse cited by Noah Webster was this: "Mary kept all these things and pondered them in her heart." The definition continues: to view with deliberation, to examine, to ponder the path of thy feet, according to Proverbs 4:26. "The Lord pondereth the hearts of man," Proverbs 21:2. An amazing dictionary with biblical references that define some of the words. But let's take this idea of Mary pondering things in her heart. Gosh, what did she ponder? Well, she pondered the angel telling her that she would have a child. She pondered the fact that her cousin Elizabeth, John the Baptist's mom, recognized the child in her womb. She pondered that an angel visited Joseph in a dream to tell Joseph that everything was going to be fine and that Mary was to give birth to the Son of God. An angel announces Christ's birth to the shepherds, and Mary pondered this as these very same shepherds come to worship at the place of Christ's birth. But Mary treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. Do you have a curious mind? Do you ponder things? This series will give you plenty to ponder as we look at things that are worth thinking about together. Here are additional things that we can ponder as we use the Bible as a reference guide. I mentioned that George Washington highlighted that God governs in the universe, nations, and people. And in the scriptures, there's over 100 Bible verses on signs and wonders. And if I were to share a few with you, that would be these: that in Genesis 1:14, God said, "Let there be lights in the expanse of the heavens to separate the day from the night, and let them be signs and for seasons and for days and years." This identifies God as the governor of the universe. In Deuteronomy 6:22, "And the Lord showed signs and wonders great and grievous against Egypt and against Pharaoh and all his household before our eyes." This is God governing in the affairs of nations. In Daniel 4:2, it says, "It has seemed good to me to show the signs and wonders that the Most High God had done for me." Also, Acts 4:30 in the New Testament, "Now, Lord, consider their threats and enable your servant to speak your word with great boldness. Stretch out your hand to heal and perform signs and wonders through the name of your holy servant Jesus." So for the people, God governing in the universe, nations, and people, and there's 100 Bible verses to signs and wonders on these themes. So as we take a look now at Psalm 19, 1 through 4, this gives us a great idea of God, the governor of the universe. The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands. Day after day they pour forth speech. Night after night they reveal knowledge. They have no speech. They use no words. No sound is heard from them, yet their voice goes out into all the earth, their words to the ends of the world. Have you thought about the heavens? Have you thought about this that is identified in Romans 1, 19 through 20, that creation testifies the fact that there is a creator? It says, since what may be known about God is plain to them, because God has made it plain to them, for since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that the people are without excuse. Indeed, pondering, wondering of it all, and seeing and understanding what has been made. The universe, its size and scope, and the fact that it is expanding. The sun beams energy to earth, converted by plants and animals. Then we eat the sun's energy as it's delivered through those mechanisms. The earth on its axis and rotation and its distance from the sun makes it eminently life-sustaining and life-supporting like no other object in the universe. And the earth's atmosphere allows things to live and flourish. Plant life seems to have been designed by a creator, as well as animal life in all of its diversity, with the human being the special creation of God in his image. At a micro level, the bacteria, the flagellum, literally an engine built out of component parts that work together. Human life designed above animal life. The body has a system of diversity and unity and complexity, like the eye and how it works, like the blood coagulation cascade and how it works. And all of the body's systems, when put under examination, are complex and beautiful. Cells are in fact little factories, and our DNA is like a computer code on how to build everything. None of this could have come out of random chaos. This is engineered, it's designed to operate together, and it's beautiful. The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands. Day after day they pour forth speech, as well as the smallest things in God's kingdom and all the diversity and complexity and creativity. These are the things that we are called to ponder. This really helps prepare our thinking as we look at the breadth, depth, and height of God's creation, and as we get ready now to ponder the amazing and providential events of the 7-year eclipse cluster of 2017, 2023, and 2024, and other providential events that God is using to speak to our nation. My name's Craig Seibert. Thanks for listening.